from our 7 Tasmania studios. Your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening everyone and thanks for joining us. Well, State Parliament has returned with a bang. Jeremy Rockliff's leadership has been fiercely questioned by crossbenchers, the Premier surviving another no confidence motion, and there are claims he's broken his funding promise for Macquarie Point Stadium and the UTAS upgrade will result in fewer seats.
It may have been a federal election, but Labor's landslide in Tasmania swept through the doors of State Parliament.
Premier, do you accept responsibility for the wipeout your party suffered on the weekend?
I am no Peter Dutton, but can I say with absolute certainty, Mr Winter, you are no Anthony Albanese either.
The Premier facing criticism today over another sports infrastructure project. The opposition claiming the $130 million upgrade to UTAS Stadium will mean fewer seats for spectators, concerns previously raised by independent Craig Garland.
How can you manage to spend so much money for less capacity?
The previously used number of 19,500 capacity was closer to an occupancy permit number established several years ago. This number is based on toilet and exit provisions.
Also questioned on revelations, the Tasmanian Liberals federal campaign team reportedly considered dropping support for Macquarie Point Stadium to try and win over northern voters.
How can you expect Tasmanians in the north of the state to support this project if even your own colleagues have serious doubt?
The party's director Sam McQuestion has been contacted for comment. While Jeremy Rockliff, again subject to claims of breaking a key promise, the spending cap for the Hobart Stadium, after opting to stop seeking private investors for it. The Greens resorting to drastic action, moving a no-confidence motion.
What we're looking at here is the Premier being dishonest.
But it fell at the first hurdle.
As for the comments on the Premier, completely and utterly rejected.
The Greens today are playing with fire, and I would just note that we've literally just had a federal election.
With no appetite for a state election anytime soon. Anthony Dodd, 7 Tasmania News.
This station will soon be under new ownership. Southern Cross Stereo today announcing it's reached an agreement to sell 7 Tasmania, as well as its other TV assets across South Australia, Northern Territory and remote Queensland, to 7 West Media. It follows a similar announcement earlier this year that those same stations will be sold to Aussie startup Australian Digital Holdings. However, that did not eventuate. For now, it is business as usual here at Nightly News. We will, of course, keep you, our loyal viewers, updated. A flashy hotel, new hospitality venues and retail spaces. Those are just some of the possibilities for Hobart's historic Treasury complex. The government throwing the door open for potential proponents to register their interest for one of the first of 3 stages of site redevelopment.
I'd love to see this site join the likes of the Tasman, the Henry Jones on the waterfront, so the development is crucial for our tourism and hospitality development going forward.
We are open to all ideas, innovation and suggestions.
The government says Treasury workers will be transitioned into a fit-for-purpose office space further down the track. Requests for tenders are expected to start later this year. A new dashboard paints Tasmania's social housing crisis in a concerning light. The number of people waiting for a home reaching new levels, with more than 5,000 applications handled by Homes Tasmania in March.
Ryan Davies spent 2 years living in a Derwent Park hotel with his 2 kids, competing with thousands of Tasmanians who were on the wait list for social housing.
I applied for housing, and from there on, there's nothing supportive. There's no communication, so it's just a wait, and I had to wait for 2 years.
A new online dashboard picking apart the state's rising social housing waitlist. The data's got Tascos concerned, despite government claims that more than 40% of 10,000 social homes have been delivered.
How can we be 40% towards our target and yet the waitlist continues to grow?
There were 5,000 waitlist applications in March, with applicants waiting 82 weeks on average for permanent housing.
Look, this is a crisis, make no bones about it, and we're not doing anything to bring down those numbers.
Tascos also highlighting concern around what constitutes a home.
What we're counting as part of that 40% target is we're counting vacant land lots, we're counting affordable rentals and affordable home purchases, as well as social homes and crisis accommodation.
The state government says it's working to address the needs of those on the housing register, but advocates like Ryan believe more can be done. A safe and stable home proving the key to success.
I work full-time now for Tasmanian Health Service. I'm a full-time uni student and an advocate for people in the community.
Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
Well, Tasmania's new container refund scheme has seen a staggering 1 million items dropped off in the first 4 days of operation. Cans are proven the most popular item, making up more than 60% of deposits. There are 40 drop-off points located around the state where eligible containers can be returned in exchange for a 10-cent refund. A further 9 will be installed by the end of August. 1 in 10 students are disengaged in education. That's a statistic from a youth support program which helps teenagers navigate the challenges of adolescence. The Raise Foundation is expanding into more schools across Tasmania, but it desperately needs more mentors.
Tackling the teenage years can be tough, but the Raise Foundation is hoping to make life a little easier.
It works to look at early intervention for young people that may need some extra support.
Its program supports 13 to 15-year-olds, helping them build resilience and hope for the future.
Provide them the confidence to be able to speak to other people, reach out, seek help, seek support.
The expansion couldn't come at a more crucial time.
Younger people are less likely to reach out and ask for help if they need.
But the national organisation is in urgent need of more volunteers in Tasmania.
They can come each week and their mentors are there, and having that stability.
Not to teach, not to counsel, but just to listen and guide and provide them some support.
Run over 2 school terms, the program is after a range of adults who can help.
We've had mentors from young as 18 through to 70 years of age. You don't need experience, you just need to feel that you want to support a young person.
The time spent with students may be minimal, but it leaves a lasting impact.
An opportunity to make a difference. 2 hours a week of your time to just be there and listen and speak with these young people.
Those interested can find out more on the website. Victoria Risto, 7 Tasmania News.
How can Tasmania's tourism industry be more sustainable? That's the big question plaguing operators, who are seeing more travellers gravitate towards climate-conscious options when choosing a holiday. Tasmania remains determined not to fall behind.
Issues like sustainability, I think, are probably taken more seriously in other parts of the world than they are here in Australia. I'm not quite sure about Tasmania, but it's really exploring those options and seeing where the future of the industry is heading.
We really have a longer way to go to get more of the industry involved, and then understanding how to carbon account and really ensure that what we're doing as an industry is helping our environment as well.
It's as the industry gets ready to bear the brunt of a seasonal drop in visitors over winter. More than 1,500 high school students from across the state have put their skills to the test. This year's Science and Engineering Challenge helping young Tasmanians tap into their STEM potential.
Building bridges and testing turbines. It's all in a day's work for some of the state's brightest minds, gathering at the University of Tasmania's Inverest campus in Launceston before it moves on to Burnie and Hobart.
Already going into year 11, you got to choose your subjects, so things like this really helps you get a picture of what you want to do.
Year 9 and 10 students pitting their wits against each other in a series of challenges designed to test their creative and problem-solving skills, possibly leading them to a future career in science or technology.
It's the jobs of the future. STEM isn't just about science, it's about problem solving and resilience, testing and trying again, showing lots of teamwork, and that's what we try and do today.
47 high schools are taking part, including Flinders Island, competing for the first time.
And it's important when there's like a statewide event, particularly around science, that we come and join in and participate.
With Tasmania seeing declining rates of STEM education in Year 11 and 12, events like the Challenge are being seen as more important than ever.
And that's why the university focuses heavily on events in the Year 9 and 10 years, so we can keep that interest high, make it exciting, and show them that there is more than just classroom-based activity.
I think it's important because you get to learn new things around science and engineering and overcome challenges.
And maybe win the state trophy later this month and represent Tasmania at the national final in October. Matthew Watson, 7 Tasmania News.
30 artists, including several Tasmanians, are vying for $100,000 in prize money and the honour of taking home one of Australia's most lucrative art awards. The theme for this year's Hadleys Art Prize centres around the idea of landscape, one artist creating her submission while on a kayak.
There's so much noise, I think, in our everyday lives and social media and different things, and I think I'd love it just to be a moment of solitude for people when they view the work.
Awarded to what the judges deem to be the best portrayal of the Australian landscape, and there are so many different ways that artists are interpreting place and their home.
The winning work won't be announced until the end of August. Thousands of Tasmanians have shared a cuppa for cancer, brewing support for the 30th edition of Australia's biggest morning tea fundraiser. Stoneman's Garden Centre among those putting on the kettle to raise funds for people impacted by the disease. This year's theme, All Round the World, with the event extra special for the Stoneman family.
Significance for our family was Dad was diagnosed on the day of the first event actually, and sadly passed away 6 months later.
Over the last 30 odd years here in Tasmania, we know that approximately over $7 million have been raised through the Australia's biggest morning tea.
The Garden Centre alone has raised more than $60,000 for the cause over the years. Members at one of the state's oldest badminton centres are enjoying the facility's much-needed upgrades. It's part of a state government grant to increase disability access, as well as accommodate an influx of Tasmanians taking up the sport.
Hobart's H. Thompson Badminton Centre elevating its game. The facility now more accessible to Tasmanians with works on the state government's $380,000 disability access upgrades complete.
This is, a facility that has been the home of badminton in South Hobart for a very long period of time.
It's been about 4 or 5 years in the making, but we're really happy that it's done now.
The building is nearly a century old, and with club memberships now surpassing 700, upgrades are essential.
I'm told it's actually an former hydro reservoir, and being designed for that purpose has given it some accessibility challenges. Obviously it gives you a bit of workout getting up and down the stairs.
The work's aiming to boost accessibility and accommodate a growing number of Tasmanians taking up racket sports.
And probably close to 400, 500 participants. And we've also got an all-abilities session that we cater to those living with disabilities, and that's about a group of 20 odd people.
Badminton and pickleball quickly becoming a real hit among older Tasmanians.
We have a lot of retiree-aged participants from 65 all the way up to 87.
Seeing all these people out of all ages, it's just great, hugely important. I retired a couple of years ago now, and I just love it.
Rebecca Gardinera, 7 Tasmania News.
Each year, the NTFA Women's Gala Round supports a good cause. This time it's breast cancer, which carries special meaning for Hillwood's Ruby Apted.
I lost my mum to breast cancer 3 years ago, so it's good to see Hillwood wanting to put on a breast cancer awareness round. Even with Bridge North, my mum grew up at Bridge North Footy Club.
The Div 1 Gala Round will be played at Westbury. They haven't dropped a game yet, but the Devonport men are still looking for more in the NWFL, expecting Wynyard to give them a run for their money on Saturday.
It takes us a bit to get going, which this week, if we give that to Wynyard, we could be in trouble.
It will be a similarly tough battle between the women's sides in a top-of-the-table clash. 8th in the driver standings isn't quite good enough for Anton De Pasquale, who's hoping Tasmania will deliver his first race win for his new team.
The car's been there. I think we just have to maximise both parts of the weekend, which is qualify well and then race well. I don't think you can get away with having a bad part of the weekend these days.
Teammate David Reynolds is hoping changes to his car will help resurrect his season. OHA aren't letting their chances of finals fever slip away in their Premier League hockey. The side fell short of a win over the weekend, tying with Derwent, and are now sitting in 5th place. Sam Keating, who's been sidelined with an injury for the first few rounds, says skipper Harry Lockwood has been leading the charge.
100%. The man has been playing off his tree. Best hockey I've ever seen him play for a long, long time, and he just continues to back it up game after game.
They'll be looking to climb the ladder when they face Northwest grads. A dozen records have tumbled in Hobart in round 4 of weightlifting's President's Cup. Darcy de Bruin smashing the national snatch record of the 98 kilo division by a whopping 9 kilograms. Just one of a number of huge efforts from local athletes heading into nationals, and the coach says they're not even at their full potential yet. Yeah, 2032. Watch out, Kim.
Impressive. Thank you, Nick. Well, Jackie Harvey will join us after the break with the weather forecast. Good evening. Lots of wind and showers were seen across the state today, with Hobart still reaching 21 degrees, 18 about Launceston and Devonport, 19 in Burnie. 22 was the state's top at Flinders Island, 20 about Smithton and St Helens, and 17 in Strawn. Patchy mid to high level cloud moved over the state today, with low level cloud covering western and northern areas. Further out, mid to high cloud streamed over WA, with scattered cloud persisting over the tropics. Tomorrow, a cold front crosses Tasmania, followed by a cool, gusty southwesterly airstream. West to northwesterly winds tomorrow, 20 to 30 knots, reaching 35 knots about the southwest. Swells up to 7 metres in the west and south and up to 3 metres in the north. A severe weather warning for damaging winds is current for the western and upper Derwent Valley, Central Plateau and the east coast. A gale warning from Wineglass Bay right around the state to St Helens Point, and a strong wind warning for the remaining coastal waters and inland lakes. A bushwalkers weather alert is current for western and central plateau forecast districts, and a warning to sheep graziers for the southeast forecast district. Tomorrow's forecast now: Hobart and Geeveston showers easing, Bothwell 13. In the north, Launceston showers 16 in Devonport, wind easing with showers in Cressy. Burnie and Curry tomorrow, windy with showers, a possible storm in Strawn. St Helens and Swansea a shower or two, and showers easing in Orford. Looking ahead to the 3-day forecast now: Thursday, showers about the west and far south, with snow above 600 metres in the southwest. Friday, light showers about the west, and Saturday, light showers about the west and far south, fine elsewhere. 27 and sunny in Perth tomorrow, showers easing in Adelaide, and 34 in Darwin. And currently Hobart, partly cloudy and 18, Launceston showers and 16, and Devonport windy with showers right now and 16. That's all in weather, Kim. Hey, thanks Jackie, and that is all your news for now. I'll be back later with updates. Thanks for joining us. Good night everyone.